sharing from the heart that touches the heart. So, I'd like to invite our dear brother Eric. Welcome.
Thank you, dear and sweet Bhumiji, and very sweet and loving good evening to each and everyone, to the lovely and lovely Navyakti Parivar. Greetings. And with the power of sweetness given to us, we can make our sweet Mohini Didi appear in front of us like a magic toli that will come right in front of us. So good evening, Mohini Didi. Nice to see you. Who doesn't like sweetness? I find it very interesting that we will be looking at that quality when these days people are afraid of consuming sweet, isn't it? That now even among Brahmin, sometimes, oh, no, there's sugar, it's sweet, it's not good. And they move away sometimes from certain kind of sweetness. So do we need to find a spiritual sweetness without artificial sweetener? So everyone enjoys the spiritual sweetness as well. What kind of spiritual sweetness we will be able to offer to Brahmins so they are comfortable with taking it as being sweet and not artificially sweet?
I think that I know in Lokik world there are some people, they try to be sweet. So there is some kind of fear in that. Why are they trying to be so sweet? What do they want from us? Or, so, but in Brahmin life, because our sweetness is from truth, our sweetness is from true love, our sweetness is from God's love. And really knowing that we all are souls, we are children of same parents, and we are going to become deities, we will be together there. So there is very pure love in our hearts. I know that, sometimes some say, but some Brahmins have different kinds of sanskars. So will we be together? That becomes like hard on them. They're not able to accept. But I find that whosoever has part to play with us, we can be very naturally sweet. Whenever I remember, you all also have experience of Dadi Prakashmani, but I have experience of Brahma Baba, then Mama, then Didi Mohini, all the ancestor souls. And because they had so much love for us, as I was mentioning that Brahma Baba or Dadis never lost hope, impatient with us, But we get little bit impatient and say, what Eric is today, I saw that Eric 10 years ago. Why he took 10 years to be what he is today, So, and I don't think I had much difficulty, but I'm just saying that kind of subtle impatience towards each other can also create some kind of, pressure or forcefully trying to kind of make others make what they should be. So sweetness also has, a lot of patience and trust. And yes, one day that part will reveal, that will happen. When I was given this new responsibility, I was kind of that, I always kind of avoid front rows, always. But I also know that I have that part because very beginning I'm thinking now, every day I write what blessings Brahma Baba gave, what blessings Mama gave, and how much they gave, So like yesterday I had first meeting with all other with me, joint administrators, and spent 2 hours together. And I was telling them that even if we say that Baba does everything, but we still have some responsibility. And but then while taking care of that responsibility, for me, there are both things. I want to be perfect before I leave body, and I don't know how long the body is. So I want to reach to that stage, but also I want to do whatever I can for yagya, even for whatever time I have. So I was just saying that how whatever I am able to take from Baba, it becomes very easy to share with others. And because you will see that, like they were mentioning, there are many, many young teachers who have just surrendered and they don't know someone senior or belonging. And so, what I had been doing is if there are different regions, different bhattis, so give class, talk to them, try to know them little bit and see. So what I'm saying is that the love and patience and the sweetness which our ancestor souls had for each one of you. Eric, you must have felt same, right? Love from daddies and so I feel sweetness is something which comes from deep truth, deep patience, deep trust, and then you don't have to be forceful, right? You have to just be smiling, sweet, and right.
Right. I have many questions on sweetness, but also on you touch on something very interesting about responsibility. I'll come back to that. But about sweetness, you mentioned earlier in the week about patience, and you remembered how some mothers will cook with patience, and they will let the beans steamer or cook the whole day. So I always felt that Daddy G's sweetness was allowing me to cook slowly, but Daddy Janki's sweetness was making me cook faster. So I felt as if you were saying today we want to cook everything quick and as pressure cooker. So I wonder sometimes maybe, yes, we took time to become who we are because we're cooking slowly, maybe too slowly sometimes. In terms of sweetness, in Lukic world, sometimes we say babies or the young ones are very, very sweet. And when they get older, maybe it's more curry, hurry, I don't know, it's less sweet. Do you find Brahmins, when they're young, they're very sweet and they get a little less sweet after? Or are we
Yeah.
losing our sweetness in getting old? Why is it?
Inner battle with Maya. No? When there is battle with Maya, you can't be sweet. So whatever externally they express bitterness about external situations. This is not right. This shouldn't happen. Whatever latent, but actually it is their own inner battle with Maya. And I think time comes when they kind of surrender and say, no, I have to be victorious, and their sweetness keep increasing again and again. I think it must have been experienced in everyone's life. I know too that, you become so serious, not because of battle, but also with the task. Oh, have so many countries, so many centers, so much travel, so that sweetness. And then after some time, I think when you get mature and you have enough experience to take care of whatever you have to do. So sweetness is there, but temporarily it gets blocked. And then time comes, it emerges again. As I said, that even when I heard about this responsibility, it took me few days really to understand from where to begin. And I had been out of India for 50 years now, almost 48 years. And but someone said very nicely that you are very, very deeply rooted. You are Bharatvasi, and so you won't have any difficulty. And it's true. because, so what I'm saying, that sweetness does disappear, get merged, I think, more than disappear.
So
And then,
maybe when, in the same way that we have medical tools to measure the level of sugar in the blood, maybe we should develop a little tool to measure if we're sweet enough. How would we know if we're sweet enough?
no, I think that bringing joy and happiness, your own self, you are very happy, joyful, and bringing it to others. Like when you eat sweet, you say, wow, it's so sweet, it's so nice. But same is also inner feelings. And I think this whole, see, we cannot separate virtue from being merged in God's love. So every virtue we are talking of, not separate, but talking of that when you are merged in God's love, there will be sweetness, right? And it's true, because you really, like I had been 3 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Today I am in New Jersey. We were sitting for half an hour. And it's just stage of being merged in Baba's love. And it is both ways, that I am merged in Baba's love, but Baba also pulls us. And really, when you are merged in God's love, every bitterness, sourness, whatever is there from the past experiences, or with experiences of from with different souls, all that get really completely removed, and you become, you feel that inner joy of being sweet. Because even if a lot of people say I am very sweet, but still there is very, very subtle irritation or bitterness, you know, because this one really gave me hard time, or this one really was not pleasant, didn't cooperate. Even subtle thoughts are really bitterness, some kind of sourness, so, or tasteless. So I think that merging in Baba's love creates real sweetness. So that is why one thing I had been saying since few days, that don't just focus on virtue, focus on stage of being merged in love, and then see the experience of that sweetness which comes, right? So more we pay attention on stage of being merged in love, more you will accurately understand what really true sweetness is.
I think many of us have experienced how we want to be sweet, and sometimes we're surprised even by, particularly earlier, how we want to be sweet and suddenly it doesn't come out sweet enough. I even remember one day when I was in Edmonton and trying to do everything, cleaning, cooking, everything. I think I went a bit too fast in the morning in making bog, and in the cake, I put salt instead of sugar.
Mm.
So when we offered the bog, I mean, our yoga was not good enough, so we can catch Baba's signal saying, you put salt, not sugar. And when we served the cake, everybody was so respectful to the bog. They didn't dare sing anything, and I didn't taste yet. So they were eating the cake and, oh. And then suddenly somebody had the courage to say, Eric, you put salt, not sugar, in the cake. And I always remembered how doesn't matter how much we want to be sweet, sometimes it doesn't come up like that. And yes, if we are merged in love, but sometimes we're not merged in love all the time. Can you think of some sentences that can help us sometimes when we know that we're a little bit, let's say in a situation where we're not merged in love at that moment, but we don't want to remove that sweetness? What kind of thoughts maybe we can create to at least emerge that sweetness if we're not merged in love at that moment?
Especially if you are cooking and making bhog, you should always remember, why are you making? It's love for Baba, right? Why I want to offer bhog to Baba, why I want making bhog for Baba, and then I will offer. So we can emerge that love at that time. because one of the practice more, we could sit and experience merge stage. But while doing karma yoga, mm, Baba, you are my companion. Okay, we will do it together. Like with Dadi Prakash Mani in the morning, when she, after Brahma Baba, even that time Yagya was not that big, but she still felt quite big responsibility. And she said, what I have to do in the morning, I tell Baba, and Baba, both of us will do it together. And she felt that whole day, that kind of presence of Baba was there. So we do not make enough efforts while doing actions or even before doing action. For few minutes, just let me be with Baba. Let me, not merge, but at least immerse that love for Bhog, love for whosoever brought fruits or flowers. When I look at it, I said, oh, so keep emerging love for whom you're doing. So the quality will also be good. And, when they were eating cake, maybe they thought it's a new recipe now. The taste is like that. They didn't think other way around. So I think that Baba is Karan Karamanhar. I'm doing for Baba. I don't see many those who cook. They cook with love because they have love for Baba, but they don't immerse that love. So when they don't immerse, then there is also little, pressure, tension. It's a lot to do, or sometimes not working. Intellect is lot with actions. But karma yogi means what? Not doing actions, but in remembrance of Baba doing actions. So
At that time,
remember,
I was only 24, I think. So I think cooking with love. But when we're in interaction with each other, what kind of thoughts you think we can create to make sure we don't lose that sweetness? Because I find that sweetness is a little bit like kindness. It's a kind of value. Like sometimes if I look at the behavior among people, Brahmins or non-Brahmins, I'm very surprised to see sometimes how technically it is not very kind. And I wonder why we would not be kind all the time, like sweetness. It's almost as if it's an extra, as you can be respectful, caring, you're polite, you're nice, but it's like sweetness, it's a little extra. Kindness, it's also a little extra. So why do Brahmin, even among themselves, lose that kindness or that sweetness? If Baba is the ocean of sweetness, we should be rivers of sweetness.
no, yeah, when you all will read Murli tomorrow morning, Baba is talking about stage of being observer. And today while reading, I had such a big realization. Baba said, it's only when Baba is your companion, you can be observer. Then I was sharing that how Brahma Baba on the fifth floor, standing on the window and was able to observe picketing these young girls, other side, all relatives, and his face was very cheerful. He's giving this as he knew that it will be over. So what I was saying, that Brahma Baba had Shiv Baba's companionship. So he was able to observe. And I really kind of internally thought that that's what is the secret. Because sometimes you are observer of someone's behavior or stages or moods, no? Look at face every time, mood is different. And it affects the soul because I'm not observer. And I'm not observer because I'm not in Baba's remembrance. So it's a little secret which I think Baba said this many times, but this morning I had deep realization that it's only when Baba is my companion that I can be detached observer. No, Baba says Sati and Sakshi. So how can I be detached observer? That means the way you're saying you cannot be sweet because we are not observer. We are kind of taking everything. Why this one is there, this one shouldn't be. And also little bit like subtle energy effects of change of mood of others, then some kind of, okay, what's next now? So I think that how to keep moving forward and keep remembering Baba while doing actions, I think we have to really take a big step, and that is more attention in interaction with others. Even at work, I think that you can not only kind, but you can remain cheerful, even watching whatever, but also doing what is necessary, right? If you have to tell others what to do, what is right, you will do it. But still, there won't be like deeply any kind of harshness in that, So, sweetness, I think that deeply within, as much you become a true observer. I mean, basically, I think we all have to be in remembrance of Baba. Anytime we are observing more, like today, Baba is saying, you have to be consistent in remembrance. And as much we do that, we cannot merge maybe while we doing actions, but at least we can have remembrance in some form or other.
Maybe before our meeting, sometimes when we say, let's have 1 minute of Baba's remembrance, we can ask also and add a little bit extra spiritual maple syrup in our stage, so we are extra sweet during the meeting as well. Before asking you about other thing, I wanted to ask you about what you refer to as, Baba being Karana and responsibility. And today's morning, there was also the mention of what Baba's role is. But just before, quickly, if you can tell us Brahma Baba's sweetness, if you were to remember a few scenes or a scene in particular in which you can describe Brahma Baba's sweetness, how would you describe it?
Cheerfulness, and when you are cheerful, like Baba always was, his face was like always, always smiling. As I said, even picketing is going on, he's still very, very smiling and cheerful. So Baba never, you know, he will be walking around in kitchen, in the courtyard, and he saw many things which were not right. He won't stop and say a word, why you're doing it, this is not right, it should not happen like this. But he will give very loving drishti, because what every soul requires is light and might, or love, light and might. So that's what he was doing. That's the sweetness, right? That what souls need, he was giving. And surprisingly, for me, that how can he, you pass and in front of you something is happening. Everyone is saying something. Oh, you always do like that. You have to be careful. This is a big loss of yagya. Everyone says something, and he is just passing from there. And actually, this person had something and fell because he was so, when Baba was passing, kind of, the energy shift happened. And Baba just keep giving lovely drishti. It's Baba's yagya, right? It was not people's yagya that they keep reminding that soul. But Baba was just giving what he had to give. And I think our stage will also is coming and will come. When people make mistakes, you really give a very sweet drishti to them, so that they don't, first thing they realize, and second, they don't repeat the mistake, right? Because you can't keep also telling people, this is not right, you didn't do this, you didn't do this, because nobody is able to accept that, even if they want to. So in a very, very sweet way, for me, that's called real Mansa Seva, that's called real cooperation to other souls. Sweetness in the form of this cooperation, where your love can at least encourage that soul to be better, to be more stable, to be more consistent. I mean, that's what really I'm doing it even now, instead of, coming in works, because soul could get discouraged, disappointed, or just say, oh, I don't think I can do better. But how to increase that hope and enthusiasm and understanding through our sweet vibrations or sweet drishti of light and might. So I think that's the real service we need to share with all the Brahmins, instead of looking at their limits and looking at, because then what happens? They just become like, I am this, I can't change anyway, I can't be better. And we don't want them to get stuck like that. What we want them to, yes, I will change, I can be better. And I feel, amazingly, many, many souls in a Vyakti Parivar is a lot of transformation in them. And it's only because they are not told what to do. It's a natural flow is going on. And surprisingly, some of the souls, when we hear about them or their experiences or even realizations which they have. So I think that we have to be lovingly saying it and also giving light and might to them, so that their sweetness increases. And it does. At least I am experimenting, and it's working very well. Yeah, I
It
think
does.
the same is with a Vyakti Parivar. I'm really, even some might say, oh, they're only listening, but when you hear their experiences and transformation which is happening in them, is amazing, right?
Well, it's not just listening. I think in terms of media language, the ratings are very good and they're very consistent. And so if it was only listening, it will not be so consistent. So I think there's more than listening. And that's why the numbers that we see every night is incredible for the whole year. You've been for the last 2 weeks. I really enjoyed how you really, really shared, I think, from the bottom of your heart, and you're trying in so many different ways to describe being merged in Baba's love and how important it is, and connecting with all the values, all the powers. And I was reflecting this week about the difference between being merged, or, when Baba says you have to be close to me, equal, companion, combined. And I was really thinking, what's the difference? Merge is that, and I was reflecting how you shared earlier, how with your new responsibilities, how much were you telling us that merging is actually bringing us to a stage where how much is Baba, how much are we allowing Baba to do through us? How much is Ikaran Karavanhar? And what is remaining of our responsibilities? And is our responsibility not just to remain merged?
Also, when we are merged, then you are able to decide exactly what you have to do also. Because, let's say if I find that, we do a meeting and there is lack of that love or spirituality. So one is to tell, another is to see how it can be created, right? So now, Baba, I have to invoke Baba for that. I have to remember Baba for that. And then when you say it with that love, and and some inspiration has to come in people to change, because that's what is some or other missing little in percentage in the whole everywhere, is this spirituality. This spirituality, I always say, spiritual administration, and because thinking of how, what it will be like in golden age and how it was in Brahma Baba's days, Dadi Prakash Mani's days. And so I was telling everyone that we have to, people shouldn't think of that era and feel it has passed, but we have to give them experience that no, we continuing with that era, but it's also getting better and better. But that will happen only through our stages, right? So when I emerge in love, then the way I think and I'm able to convey what I have to say with appropriate words and vibrations. So I think even if Karan Karamanar Baba is there, but yes, I have to still do, right? I still have to act. So in that stage, and I feel really, at least I benefited a lot by this topic of being merged in love, because the intellect really thinks completely different. And when you say things, recently I did a bhatti with Hyderabad, and there were a lot of centers, and then it became international somehow or other. It was in Hindi, but just people feeling belonging, feeling that yes, we had been heard. It was amazing, and I know that it's Baba. So once we work on ourselves, I think definitely whatever is our responsibility, we are able to fulfill and give them feelings of closeness to Baba. That yes, they belong to Baba, they surrendered to Baba. And, there are many, many who have never seen any Dadi. They were saying they never ever come close to Dadis. So how to give them that feeling? It's only when I emerge in love, or when I'm speaking, I say, it's from Baba. So then they were saying, okay, tomorrow is Thursday, can you offer book to Baba and all that? And they all sat there. I was offering here, and it was Amrit Vela there. And they all were sitting. So I think, when you are merged, you work on you know exactly what. And then even when you have spoken, you feel, well, it was Baba, who helped. So even fulfilling responsibility comes with the stage, right? So when I say, Baba, you are Karan Karma, I don't sit back, right? I still get very beautiful thoughts and insights, and then I keep writing, and I say, oh, this is very good. Maybe I should say this. Maybe this can help. So this homework goes on, and then you are able to do whatever your assignment is, right? Mm.
So do you find that you are pilot and Baba is co-pilot, or is Baba pilot and you are co-pilot?
I think Baba is pilot. I am co-pilot.
Okay.
I rather I rather be co-pilot. Mm.
Very good.
So Baba
Thank you.
also now has given me co-pilot, no, because we are both are together, Jayantivan and myself. So we
Mm.
are two pilots now because of whatever reasons. It's always beneficial, and so we both are able to share, talk, and then present whatever has to be presented. And it's so interesting that we both are in foreign countries, and then how much love, respect all Bharatvasis have for both of us is amazing, right?
Is it too indiscreet or too, how to say, personal to ask you a little bit what you shared with her, and what kind of chit chat you had with Sister Genti, and what you're sharing or talking about for these roles, or
Mhm. No, I said from where we begin, no? So I had a lot of ideas, and I was waiting hard to get it implemented, trying to find a sister in India who can communicate, arrange for us. And we found everything. And I felt Baba is Karan Karavanar because he gave me channel to work through. And of course, our relationships are since childhood. When I say childhood, she was 12 and I was 20, 10 years time, but she came to me. Baba told her, go talk to her and good company. And since then until now, the sustenance. And of course, I think Dadi Janki is playing a big role here, and Dadi Gulzar, ancestor souls. Yeah, they're doing a lot, and we definitely do what we should be doing also.
We're looking forward very, very much to see you both also, keeping inspiring us, and really we appreciate how much you've been already sharing and, making us taste that love. And now we know that love is even sweeter. So there's a new incentive to merge in Baba's love. And we don't know, maybe we'll get Toli if we merge in Baba's love even more. I haven't seen Toli in Zoom for a few days or a little while. So maybe New Jersey family will share with us a Toli in Zoom. And because Zoom has just that little limitation yet, the Toli doesn't come out from the
Yeah,
screen. I just hope one day that
yeah,
will come.
that's what I was telling yesterday to Muniben. Generally, after meeting, you share Toli, but that we miss definitely. But
Well,
yeah,
I'm sure we have
yeah,
another way to express that sweetness even in Zoom. So thank you for giving us that experience without sugar and without even any toli. So we can taste it very, very well. So thank you very, very much. And sweet dreams, very sweet dreams to everyone. Thank you, Mohini Didi, and
oh,
good
so
evening.
there is Toli Laddu.
I was hoping a toli will come up in the. Thank you. I was actually going to ask you, I don't know if that's too indiscreet as well. Do you have a favorite toli? Is there one kind of toli you prefer?
uh, I have to think which Toli I prefer.
So I can learn to make it now. We
Yeah,
can practice.
they are reminding me that I like Malpura.
Malpura,
Mm. Malpura is like a sweet puri.
sweet pura. Acha, okay.
And Anutai,
Malpura.
one sister is telling me you like kalakand. When they make
Okay.
anything fresh, it tastes good.
So
Mhm.
Bhumimichi, I'm sure there's going to be some of that toli very soon for your birthday, right?
When you all come, yeah, if borders open, be celebrating big birthday and all that in August, in Peace Village.
Yeah.
So if borders open of Canada, I know many are waiting to come. Toronto is,
Waiting at the
no,
border.
Toronto is already booking their bus and all that. Wait until borders open.
Yeah, the business of totally crossing the border is also very important. So I'll talk to the prime minister, telling him we're really missing totally exchange here across the border. Thank you, Manididi. Yes, and it's coming soon, just in a few weeks.
Actually, Toli is coming from Madhuban end
That's-
of this month, but how to send everywhere?
mm.
Somebody is coming and a lot of Toli is coming. We had
I
been
think
getting a lot of Toli from Madhuban, but how to send at other places is not easy.
but just to see it on your hands, our mouth is already watering. So
Only watering or got sweetened also?
it does feel sweetness, and we're merged in that sweetness as well.
Very good. Thank you. Good night.
Okay, good
Om
night.
Shanti.
Oh, Shanti, Manididi.